Hello, where are you listening from? What time is it where you are? Are you winding down for bed? Maybe snuggled up with your favorite stuffy or toy? Well, then this is the perfect moment to get comfy and cozy because I am about to tell you a very peaceful story. So let's begin. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest filled with all sorts of wonderful creatures, there lived a turtle named Thomlin. Now, Thomlin was a slow-moving turtle, but not just any slow-moving turtle. You see, Thomlin was a very gentle soul. His eyes sparkled with kindness, and his heart brimmed with compassion for every living thing. He took his time to listen to the rustling leaves and the babbling brooks, taking solace in the beauty that surrounded him. And when he strolled through the forest, his mind was often lost in thought, always thinking of ways to help others. Despite his good nature, Thomlin was often left behind by the swifter animals. The busy squirrels would chatter and scold him for being so slow. The speedy rabbits would dart past him without a second glance. And the swift deer would tease him for his lack of pace, but Thomlin didn't mind. He understood his own pace, and he knew that his strength lay not in his speed, but in his gentle and thoughtful nature. One day, while basking in the warm sunlight, Thomlin overheard a group of young animals discussing a legendary place called Moonlight Hill. They spoke of its ethereal beauty, where the moonlight bathed the rolling hills in an otherworldly glow, transforming the landscape into a dreamlike panorama. Intrigued and yearning for an adventure, Thomlin decided to set out and find this magical spot for himself. As he began his journey, the other animals continued to rush past him, their laughter echoing through the trees. But Thomlin was unfazed. He was on his own path, a path that led not just to a destination, but through the very essence of life itself. With each step, Thomlin's heart swelled with joy. The warmth of the sun on his shell, the gentle sway of the trees, and the symphony of birdsong filled him with a sense of wonder. He stopped often to admire a ladybug crawling on a blade of grass, or to watch butterflies dance among the wildflowers. Soon, he came across a hedgehog struggling to roll over after having fallen on its back. Without hesitation, Thompson lent a helping hand, or should I say flipper, and helped the hedgehog right itself. The grateful hedgehog thanked him profusely, and in return, Thomlin simply offered a gentle smile and a kind word. A little further on, he saw a baby bird perched on the edge of a leaf, flapping its wings with all its might. It was trying to learn to fly, but it kept falling back down onto the leaf, dejected and disheartened. Thomlin approached the bird and told it, "Little one, flying isn't just about flapping your wings. It's also about believing in yourself." As if understanding his words, the bird puffed out its chest, flapped its wings once more, and soared into the sky, leaving Thomlin in awe as it disappeared into the vast blue yonder. As the day wore on, the sounds of the forest grew hushed, and the trees began to cast long shadows on the ground. The sun, now a fiery ball on the horizon, was preparing to rest for the night. Thomlin, guided by the instincts that had led him so far, turned toward the setting sun, and what he saw took his breath away. Before him lay the magical Moonlight Hill, even more enchanting than the young animals had described it. The moon, like a giant pearl, hung low in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the rolling hills and valleys. The sight was so breathtaking that Thomlin felt tears welling up in his eyes. In that moment, he understood why the animals revered this place so much. It wasn't just about the beauty, but about the tranquility, the feeling of being connected to something greater than oneself. With newfound energy, Thomlin continued his journey, eager to explore more of the moonlit hill. As darkness fell and the stars twinkled above, Thomlin finally reached the highest point of the hill. From here, he could see the entire forest bathed in the soft, ethereal light of the moon. It was a view so beautiful, so serene, that Thomlin felt a deep sense of contentment wash over him. In that moment, he realized that it wasn't the speed at which he had traveled that mattered, but the journey. Itself, the sights he had seen, the friends he had made, and the experiences he had shared along the way. He had taken his time, savored the journey, and in doing so, had discovered the true meaning of adventure. As the first rays of sunlight began to peek over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, Thomlin started his journey back home. The experience of the previous night had left him feeling rejuvenated, and he now understood that the real magic lay not in the destination, but in the journey itself. On his way back, he came across many of the same animals he had seen on his journey to the moonlit hills, but this time the roles were reversed. The busy squirrels were now in a frantic rush, their cheeks bulging with acorns they were desperately trying to gather before nightfall. The rabbits were speeding along, late for their evening meeting, and the deer were racing through the forest, trying to outrun the approaching darkness. Seeing their distress, Thomlin couldn't help but offer a helping hand. He reminded the squirrels to take a break and enjoy the beauty of the setting sun. He helped the rabbit find a shortcut to their meeting, and he guided the deer to a safe shelter from the coming storm. At first, the animals were hesitant. They couldn't understand why someone would want to linger when there was so much to do. But as they listened to Thomlin's calm and soothing voice, they began to relax. He reminded them that life wasn't just about rushing from one task to another, but also about appreciating the present moment, tending to their own well-being, and caring for each other. As the days passed, news of Thomlin's wisdom and kindness spread throughout the forest. The animals who had once mocked him for being slow now sought him out for advice and comfort. They realized that his slowness wasn't a weakness, but a strength. It allowed him to observe, to listen, to understand, and to connect with the world around him in a way that they couldn't. From that day forward, Thomlin became known as the wisest turtle in the forest. He taught the animals that going slow wasn't a sign of weakness, but a gift that allowed them to notice the world around them, to appreciate its beauty, and to care for each other more deeply. And so, my dear listener, as you drift off to sleep tonight, remember that going slow is not a weakness, but a strength. It allows us to notice the world around us, to savor the present moment, and to care for ourselves and others more deeply. Be kind to yourself, just as Thomlin was kind to all the animals he met on his journey. And know that you are stronger and wiser than you think. Sleep well, my little friend, and may your dreams be filled with the magic of Moonlight Hill.